Wake.Show, as everybody knows, a show needs an intro. This is that intro. I am Fisher, your host, featuring Chris McCarty. We were supposed to have a guest today, but it's just us, you and me.
Yo, I'll be your guest today. I'll be your guest.
Look at it. I even set up I got a whole new set up for our guest today.
Wait, we have a guest. Put it back on. Thank you, Invisible Man, for showing up today, man. We really appreciate you, man. That was awesome of you. You're so thoughtful, and thank you for your time. We know you'll never, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
he's a little shy, so don't,
Well, I don't know if it's partly my fault or not because, I lost my phone last night again. Before we get into everything, let's go ahead and welcome our sponsor for the first 15 minutes, Single Source Insurance. Thank you so much, Single Source Insurance. For those of you that are sick and tired of dealing with the big boys, the huge boys, and have had to deal with them anytime the last few years and realize how horrible their customer service is, give Single Source Insurance a try. Go to singlesourceins.com. Good morning, Nikki Cooper. Oh, Nikki. By the way, yesterday, Chris, I didn't get a chance to read out loud. I don't know if you saw it or not, but she had thanked us for the well wishes from the day before because she had to put down Mr. Winter this past few days ago.
Yeah, it's a rough one, man. And anyone who's gone through that, I'm sure we've all had it. I've done it. It's very, very difficult. So you've. Welcome to the club. I love the club.
Yeah, I can't even. The Wake Pups are here today, by the way. Joe and Roxy. Well, I'm going to pull up their Instagram page real quickly. This is a post.
And I know that's a fear of yours too, my friend.
What's that?
Look at that.
Well, yeah, especially after you have a dream and you watch your dog get hit by a car in a dream, and it's so vivid and real. You're like, it gives you PTSD. It affects you. So this is from the weekend. No, actually, this is from last night. I'm sorry, Chris. This is last night.
That's awesome. Whoops. Yeah, I remember for 16 years. I had a cat for 16 years, and I can't tell you how many times I drive home and just be afraid. Like, I hope I don't see him in the road hit by a car. Like, does anyone else have that? Like, just that.
Oh, you mean like you would come home and you realize your cat was an indoor-outdoor?
Yeah, just, the moments of like, I really just, your head, your fears. We sometimes play in our fears because you love them so much, and it would just be, So mine was the worst. It was worse than that. It was like, I don't know if anyone knows this, but I came home and my cat was being attacked by a raccoon. So I am running into this thing and kicking this raccoon and trying to kill this raccoon, and then the raccoon turns on me, and then you have that moment of like, if this raccoon bites you, like you got kids, man. So then it's that whole dude, it was just rough. So, yeah, man. And
there's. Well, I'm sorry. That is a horrible experience. Or has to be. I don't want to walk into that.
Yeah, it was mortifying.
As a kid, there was a couple times because there'd be big dogs in the neighborhood. Pit bulls were very common. Are probably still very common in Ocoee. And every now and again, when you'd see two of those dogs like get at it, it is horrifying when you see. And we're not doing this story today. There's a story in the paper about the family dog turning on a child. Again, another pit bull. But it is, you have a whole new appreciation for nature.
Yeah, man.
And you forget just how domesticated we are and dogs are until you see two pit bulls locked.
It's crazy.
Or a raccoon and a cat.
I literally, my neighbor, I was out there and I was taking out the trash and I'm hearing this screaming like, no, run. And I know that, I know what that sounds like. So I just dart over there like, what can I do to help? But I'm here. Two pit bulls just got into it, and they, apparently they've been together for 2 years, no problems. I don't know what happened. All I know is Pitbull went Pitbull, and so yeah, it's you realize I'm not trying to get in that, dude. No, so yeah, man, we're all animals, and they can turn.
Hey, Matt, I apologize that I'm not a good producer, and I didn't. If you're still watching, I see a Matt Dom's name there, but I apologize if.
You try to reach out to him?
Yeah, well, I should have reached out yesterday to confirm him coming in today because we talked about it last Thursday, but I didn't confirm, so that's 100% on me. But
accountability. Did you guys see that? That was accountability. That's why I mess with this dude. He says my fault.
It was. It really was. We talk about it. Last Thursday, I'm like, all right, cool. So in my brain, I put him on the calendar, not thinking, hey, at the beginning of the week, I should probably text him back. Go, hey, man, just remember, are you still free on Thursday?
You know what I think is interesting, man? I had something similar happen to me last night. I got a text. I was playing at the Hard Rock last night, and I got a text from Scott. He is the director over at Camp Crystal Lake, and every year I go back to the camp because that's where I was first ever on stage, like 9 years old. And he's like, hey, we didn't hear back from you. So we have another guy going, no worries, we still love you. And it was just like, what? And I'm like sending him the Google Calendar of like us having those dates on. And I realized, I'm like, oh no, when I changed my number, he was probably trying to reach out to me and didn't hear it. And so it's like, but again, it's on me. I should have, I'm calling him like, dude, that's 100% my fault. I didn't follow through on that. I didn't make sure everything was good. I assumed. And so it's interesting that you had the same situation, and so did I.
And then my dumbass last night leaves my phone at Park and Rec again.
Were you wrecked? At the park?
No, not at all. No, but I put it on. They have these little lights set up, Anyway, I put it up above me and turn the light on at the end of the night to shine down on my stuff so I can see everything as I'm cleaning up, packing up. And this isn't the first time that I've left the thing. I've packed everything up and walk out.
I've done it. Actually, matter of fact, I was at the Hard Rock. This is what saves me. So I have my little headphones, right? Everyone sees. I always have my headphones on me, and so sometimes I'll walk away from a place and then the music starts to drop and I'm like, oh, my phone. And I run back because I realize I left my phone somewhere too. So
that's funny.
So yeah, if you don't want to lose your cell phone, keep your headphones on.
All right. So coming from the Instagram of the Wake.Pups, this is me last night having Brenner, as Alma pointed out. So, all right, here's what Roxy.
Is that Coke or wine you're drinking?
That is Coke. Diet Coke. Diet Coke. In a wine glass. So the way we love when Dad shares dinner, especially, Roxy likes the puns, especially when he's having bacon and eggs for dinner. So that was dinner last night. And this is the thing. My wife doesn't cook dinner. She doesn't make dinner. She cooks breakfast, and she makes one hell of a breakfast sandwich. So every now and again, if she cooks dinner, I'm excited about it because it's not going to be dinner. It's going to be breakfast for dinner.
Which is my favorite meal is breakfast. And I don't know, a lot of people feel that way too.
Ooh, what's your breakfast? What was your breakfast this morning?
Oh, I had some grainy oat, just cereal type meal, and then, had my coffee, and
I had a little bit of cereal, a little bit of Honey Nut Cheerios, and then 2 eggs.
Hey,
take 2 eggs, a little bit of olive oil, and I cook it in olive oil. I don't know if that's good for you or not good for you, but
it is.
All right, and then so I cook them sunny side up basically, and then I flip them and hope that they don't break. But if they do, I don't care.
Hey man, right.
And then I take a piece of American cheese, I fold it in half, I put it on one of the eggs, I fold the other egg over. And only let it cook for a few seconds because I want some of that runniness. And then set on the plate, let the cheese continue to melt, and there you go. There's my breakfast.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then I take my multivitamin. And,
I need to start doing that.
My multivitamin and my blood pressure medicine, and start my day.
Now, did you go to did you go to the dispensary yesterday?
I did go to the dispensary yesterday.
So didn't it feel like wow? Didn't it kind of feel? Wait, which one did you go to?
No, I'll tell you, I was very underwhelmed.
Wait, which one did you go to?
True Leave on North 4th Street, St. Pete.
You know what? I think because the one I went to, past tense, the one I went to was off 19 in Clearwater. That was pretty. Like whoa, lights. I don't know. Yeah, St. Pete. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to tell you the story here in a second. Because it's my first experience. But anyway, Robert's breakfast: bacon, eggs, sausage, biscuits, hash browns. Ooh. Good for you, Robert.
Come on, Robert. Everybody tell us what you ate. What'd you eat? Let's all connect real quickly on what we ate this day. I like this.
Unless you had like a rice cake and a half a grapefruit. I don't want to hear about those. Right. Unless you put a lot of sugar on the grapefruit.
Nikki, what'd you eat?
Let's see.
Don't lie.
Speaking of which, Eric Stratman from TNL Nutrition Coaching got a hold of me yesterday as well. Said he wanted to talk to me this morning, but I lost my phone, so I can't talk to him yet. But he says he has something specific he wants to talk to me about when it comes to diet and exercise as we ramp up. Because now we've got the medication. Now I've got my medication, my anti-anxiety. So now all I need is get the doctor confirmed, and I'll have my solid foundation to move forward and see if I can improve my physical health.
Cool. I want to ask everyone at home. For those of you who may shun marijuana, right? You're like, it's bad, it's evil. I was there too at one point. Does your view change knowing that it's actually legal for him and it's medicinal? Does it change? I want to know. Just let us know what you think, because I had this conversation with this guy who he's big in a church, claim to be big in the church, and he was like, "It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong."
Oh, he's making it a moral thing.
Yeah, he was
God
like,
thing?
he was saying like, it's illegal, and that I said, well, wait, if it becomes legal, because 60%, we needed 60% of the vote, I guess, and it was like 58 to make it legal. Would it change? He goes, well, then it would be different. I'm like, okay, well then.
Well, that guy might tie his faith and the rules of God in with the rules of the governing body of the country that he lives in. So to break the laws of the land is ungodlike or whatever his religion is. I just don't know
if I've seen that in the Bible. That
we don't know where he's getting his stuff from. But everybody has a different view of God.
I listen. All I can say is there was a time when I used to get on my friend. This is before I ever tried it. Get on my friend. Oh, what are you doing? It's wrong. Like, I mean, I'm a very passionate person, so if I believe in something, I'm running into it. And then it's funny. Ben Harper had a song, "Before you knock it, try it first. You'll see it's a blessing and it's not a curse." And I like Ben Harper, so I was like, and I like Bob Marley, so I was like, all right, well, and then. Ooh, off we went. But now here I am back on the other side being like, nah.
Right, because you know as well as anybody else does that we can't be cavalier about this stuff, even though it's legal. Mm-hmm. I'm not using this. I'm not using this as a loophole so I can recreationally get high in public.
Right.
All right. So I have some anxiety issues. I have some getting up in the morning issues and going to bed at night issues, and angry. I can get angry, kind of like that.
We all can. It's all good.
So this is coming in as a tool. I'm going to my doctor, not the doctor I went to through Doc MJ, but my actual primary care physician is a proponent of this. I talked to him about it. I didn't just go find somebody that would give me a card. I talked to my guy, and he said we had a long conversation. He's a proponent, said experiment along the way because we don't know enough yet when it comes to how these cannabinoids, I don't know if I had an extra syllable in there or not, affects people. But it seems to affect people differently. So just because your friend's going, hey, man, try this one. It was perfect. I didn't have any anxiety and I was awake. I was able to function. It may have the exact opposite effect for you. So this is an experiment for me along the way. After 3, 4, 5, 6 months, if I'm no better off than where I was, then I'm going to try something else. I'll put this out of my system and try something else.
And that's great, man. The fact that you really are trying to find something. Again, does that change anyone's perspective? The fact that you're really trying to find a solution because you're not comfortable. And I will say this too, man. Like, ever since I stopped, I've really been into working out because you just can't serve two masters. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So for me, it was like I know that I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to have more drive and be getting into it. So we're talking about us working out together. You might find some challenges along the way. Just
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
In that Eric might even bring that up to you too.
So we'll figure it out as we go along. We'll come back to the experience I had yesterday because this is I just got my card. Yeah, I'm going to hit a couple of these things. I just got my card, and so I'll walk you through the process, and it was kind of how weird it was.
Wait, you got your card already? Or you got the email?
I got the email. Sorry,
it took me months to get my card. I'll bring my card in tomorrow. You guys can laugh at it.
So first we got to go back to what did you have for breakfast?
Hey.
So Nikki says she had a glass of milk.
That was it, baby?
That was it. Rich has eggs, bacon, muffins, homemade, glass of OJ and a banana. Sounds delicious.
Can y'all spend the night?
Doug says smoke them if you got them. I guess that's his opinion on legalizing marijuana. Right. Angela Marie, growing up with a cop dad, I was told no. Ooh, okay. But it was the only thing that helped my mom with her cancer.
Wow, that's interesting how that works, Angela Marie. That's really so. So your father after that happening, did it? Because we had a show a while back. We were talking about how it's interesting how things come full circle. There was a preacher that was very anti-homosexuality. He was just like, it's wrong. And then his son ended up becoming gay. And then he just switched everything around, and then now his church is more, predominantly homosexuals and whatnot. So it makes me wonder, like, did your his mind change after, obviously?
Yeah. So Nikki, was your father supportive of that treatment, and when it had its positive effect, did it change his mind on things? Let's see. Nikki also says, I tried it when I was 16, got sick. I was drunk. Yeah. You
can't do both.
Don't want to mix them. The spins. Oh,
man. I remember 21 years old.
But that's a funny thing for a lot of people. That's the first time they try it because they're already drunk, so their inhibitions are lowered.
Right.
And they're like, friends like, oh, well, try this. Like, oh, sure. Next thing you know, you're like, ugh. This is the worst thing ever. I'm never smoking pot ever again.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
She goes, then I was 100% against it for me,
right.
But I wasn't really worried about everyone else. Now that I see my mom struggle with fibromyalgia pain, I'm more open-minded to it towards others. I've been researching it versus CBD oil for her. I'm not sure of the laws in West Virginia where she lives. I say if it's legal and it helps, great.
Yeah.
As long as it's safe.
Okay, cool.
And that's as somebody who's a proponent and have gone down this path, I also understand that there's the dark side of marijuana. There's a downside. The dark side.
Sorry.
Chris, are you my
nerd alert? My bad. Go ahead. You were saying component, dark side.
You have to be careful with stuff. There's a paranoia that can set in. Here's the thing. There are so many people that are touting that this is almost like a miracle drug, that it turns into snake oil, a kind of pitch, and that CBD is going to cure everything, or THC is going to cure everything. And I don't know, maybe it is going to take a chunk out of a lot of things. There's still a lot of research to be said, but for me, when I have people going, oh, it did this, it cured my that, and there's got to be more proof for me along the way. So I'm going to be part of the experiment, Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you again from, my personal walk through it. Again, we're all different. But I feel better that I'm not. I had to go through it, and I mean, of course, listen, I got an ice pack on my knee right now. You guys don't know about it. I feel it, but yet just for my mind and clarity and energy and just being excited and more time with my kids, and I am remembering, and it just there's a give and take in anything. So maybe it's the ebb and flow. You're on, you're off, but right now I'm thoroughly enjoying not being partaking.
All right,
thoroughly.
So here's my experience day one with medical marijuana. Yesterday, during the Wake, right before the Wake.Show, I got an email from the state of Florida saying, you're good to go, buddy. You're good to go. And says an actual physical card will be coming in the mail, but you can take this down and go ahead and knock yourself out. So I went to True Leave on North 4th Street in St. Petersburg. Why'd I go there?
Close to home.
Yeah. So you walk in, there's a couple people behind the counter, and they're getting you checked in, making sure you're cleared, since I'm a first-time patient. Then they set up a profile. So it's almost kind of like going to a doctor's office, and so you're going to spend 10, 15 minutes as they fill out some stuff. Once they did that, they gave me a folder with some information in it, and then they walk you back to where the medicine actually is. This is where I was surprised at how small the room was, how small the selection was. Like, they only had a handful of strains in there. And really? I was expecting to walk in and be like, I don't know.
Candyland.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw. Listen, the other place I went to, well, keep going. I'll tell you, A, B it. Your A.
So, very clean, very well lit. They do not accept cards. Because of the legalities at the federal level, credit card companies and banks are still want to keep everything at arm's length. So it's cash. So that makes it feel like illegitimate. They got an ATM machine sitting there in the corner.
Right there, I'm telling you.
Like it's Mons Venus. Wait.
I've never been there. What are you talking about? What is Mons Venus? That's weird.
My wife does bring up a good point. Day one, lost phone.
Yo, that's a check right there. That was a good one.
Good move, honey. Good move. Well done. I don't know if that played into it. Not now.
Wait, had you lost your phone before, though?
Yeah. I've left my phone at that gig. This is my third time, I think.
Dude, I think it's just you. But that was a good check, though, Lauren. I got to give it to you.
And it could be a component. I mean, this is the stuff that I have, because I got two strains, right? Strands or strains? Strains. I got two strains yesterday. One is, and by the way, no flower, no bud, not smokables. It was vape stuff. Bought the little.
Was it indica?
I got two. So one was daytime. This is for the anxiety. This is trying to, get me going in the morning. This is for those moments during the day where all of a sudden.
Sativa.
So. Yeah, a hybrid. This was a hybrid.
Oh.
All right, so that was a hybrid. Then they gave me one that is indica. This is the at night stuff. Down, yeah. Right. This is at night. You're at the house, you're trying to get to sleep. Boom. This strain is called 9-pound hammer.
Oh, we're so clever with our names.
9-pound hammer. So I got some OG Kush or
OG
Kush, I think, and that's the daytime one. But so last night I'm at my gig, and it's a high anxiety gig for performing. For any of you that have ever performed, there's a certain amount of anxiety or that energy that comes along with it. But then sometimes it can be too much. It can be a little overwhelming. Yes. So last night I get to that point where it's kind of I go to the bathroom, take my dosage, and head back out there and feel good. Going through the night, this and this and this. But I had a moment where I got agitated at a customer, and it made me go, wait, is this a justifiable moment where it's okay to get agitated in that moment at this drunk person?
Wait, what happened?
Or do I need to go back and go, you know what? Let's make sure there's more CBD. I want to make sure I'm calm and da-da-da-da. But I don't want to get too calm, because as a performer, you can't take that edge away, or then you don't have the stuff to do what you do, right? So here's what it was. Drunk girls. Oh, I got video. I got video of drunk girls. So, well, I hope that it's in my full. It should be from last night.
What did happen with the drunk girl?
So here we go. Going into the night. Do you know the show? Have you stumbled across that MTV show, Siesta Key?
I don't watch TV.
Okay. I guess it's it's like Laguna Beach, or it actually is the same producers from Laguna Beach, so it's kind of like that Jersey Shore, whatever reality television.
Definitely not watching that. No judgment to anyone who does. Just not my thing.
So they were filming at Park and Rec yesterday afternoon, from all afternoon up until 8 o'clock when my thing started. But they still bled into what I was doing, so they're still. I don't know if these 4 girls were a part of that or not, but they seemed very out of place. They were all dressed very, very clubby, and Park and Rec's really not that vibe,
Right.
And they were owning them they were the only 4 people in the room.
That's what I saw at my spot. The same 4 girls. But go ahead.
All right, so here they are. Here we are. And thank you to Single Source Insurance for being a part of the show. All right, so I think it's that blonde one there in the tube top there that I had a moment with. Whoa, everything all right? What happened back there? Oh, okay. So I think it was the blonde one there. Oh, I got another one. Here you go.
Can we no offense.
Can what?
Can we not do another one?
You can't take the audio?
It's not even the audio. It's just I've seen that so much that it's just not cute to me, and I'm like,
oh no, it was annoying. They're trying to be cute and sexy and this and that, which I'm sure they might have been to some of the young men there, but to me, you're right, Chris. You and I've seen this so many times. And you see how obnoxious they are. I mean, they're
judging, but listen, look, man.
Right. So anyway, they're hammered. At the end of their song there, the blonde one and the tube top. Now, you see the microphone that girl has?
Right.
And you can't really see the other one.
Right.
This is partly my bad. Because one of my karaoke microphones broke. Now, karaoke microphones are cheap microphones.
Right.
I think I spent $40-$50 on them or something like that.
That's not cheap, but go ahead.
Well,
I was thinking you could say $10-15, but go ahead.
You can't go. You can only go so low in quality, otherwise it's just
right.
I
got you right.
So that's about the lowest quality I think I can get for a karaoke microphone, to sound halfway decent anyway.
Right.
So I had 2 of those things. One of them broke weeks ago. Instead of replacing it, I replaced it with one of these, a $500 EV RE27.
Whoa, bro.
Right, because it's right there in my bag. It's simple. So at the end of this song,
oh no, she dropped it. Did she sexual chocolate it?
She goes, mic drop, boom, and drops it on the stage. And that's just rude, man. That's just effing rude. And so, yeah. So my anxiety medicine got overridden in that moment. And I go and I cut, don't you drop my, that's a $500 to $100 effing microphone. Don't you, something like that.
Right.
As she walks away. Well, and then later on in the night, another girl.
I just got angry. I just felt something inside of me when you're telling the story.
Yeah,
by the way.
I was pissed.
I'm sure.
On the other hand, though, I should have known better. People do get drunk up there. They get hammered.
And the dropping the mic thing is a thing that people think they are. Right? I get it. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's on accident when they do that. The person that broke my microphone, it was an accident. Mm-hmm. So that's partly on me for being too lazy to replace the microphone or not replacing the microphone quick enough.
I wouldn't say lazy. Maybe it just wasn't one of those things that popped in your head. Prioritizing. It's not lazy, dude.
Right. Well, it does pop in your head. And
lazy would have been you're at the store and you're like, just do it later. Like you weren't lazy. So go ahead.
All right, so anyway, then later on in the night, another girl, but this time it was the cheap microphone, does the same thing, and I turned off the music. I go, all right, that's it, everybody. After 2 mic drops, I just want to let you know there's a new rule here tonight. After the next mic drop, that person will be dropped off the stage out the back window here.
Nice. I like it, brother.
And then like 20 minutes later, somebody's singing and they get done and they go, here's your microphone. I didn't drop it.
See? Now, that's the respect I'm talking about. You are demanding you respect. No, you cannot do this. You got to sometimes teach people and people respect. Well, they respect it. So now you got this thing in the beginning of the whole deal from now on. Like, hey, listen, by the way, if you ever drop my mic, you're getting kicked out. You're not doing this anymore. This is not your stuff. This is not your world. This is not, and that's okay. Like, just put it out there.
I also learned a lesson last night.
Mm-hmm. What did the girl say to you after you were like, don't you drop it? She like, take F off, and she's like, whatever.
She just was looking at me as she was backing away, as she was walking away, and then her and her friends went over to the bar, and I had to go talk to security about something. It had nothing to do with them. But I know that they were sitting there at the bar thinking I was talking to security.
Because it's all about them.
Right. Well, I would think the same thing after I just yell at you. And
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sure, it made them calm down for a minute before they went somewhere else to be cute and have drinks bought for them.
Ladies, I just hope that everyone is watching this. And this is really good for all of us. We are not as cute as we think we are.
No. All right, now I got another video for you.
Thank you, Deirdre.
Okay. And this guy's name is Country.
Country.
He said this is his real name. His real name is Country, he says. And
that's your real name, bro, but all right.
That's what he says.
Crystal? Crystal meth.
Crystal meth. Oh, wait, what happened? I thought
Country is no more. Oh, there he goes.
There you go. Here's Country.
I'm at the football game.
Hit town.
Now, I don't know if he's on the show, but I think he was with the show. He was, because when I asked him, he said he was up from Sarasota, and that's where all the Siesta Key people were up from. And so, and he was there because I don't know if he was part of the shoot or not, but anyway, this guy is like 6'5", 6'6". He comes up, he has this camouflage hat on, boots, and he goes, hey, my name's Country. I think that was Jason Aldean. And I was like, sure, man, I'll play it for you. So he gets up there and he starts singing Jason, the song kicks in. And he goes, yeah, I bet y'all didn't think this about a man like me was going to sing a song like this. I got more surprises for you tonight. And he launches into this country song, then comes back later. And I'm like, all right, what he's going to pick this time? Some Garth Brooks. And he goes, you have 311? Or wait, who does Paralyzer? Dun, 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 dun.
I love that song. Finger
11. And I was like, yes, sir, I do. He's
God,
like, all right,
great song. I want to cover that too. I'm not paralyzed, but I seem to be struck by you. I'm gonna make you move. I'm on my way to. Oh, that's a great song, man.
All right, yeah. So he did that.
So he did it. Let me see it.
It's got to be the most pretension thing. Since I thought of you and me.
He's confident. I love it. Look at it. He knows who he is. He loves it.
Don't play for your place or my place, but I'm not paralyzed. But I seem to be struck by you. I wanna make you move because you're standing still. If you're mine,
like that cinematography, I'm fancy.
Look at you. Only here at Park and Rec.
So anyway, also the only person to tip me last night, tipped me $10,
was Country.
Yeah, it was Country. Now I don't usually get tips, and I don't put out a tip jar or anything like that.
That's so good.
But
I look at this, man. Look, all right. So I do this at some of my shows. It's kind of fun. I did this when I was opening for Chase, right? So I I started playing the background to Juicy, which everyone was all the dream, or whatever. And I said, all right, man, I'm gonna do a little Garth Brooks, and so I sing Friends in Low Places, and I even said, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a first for everybody. A man with dreadlocks singing Garth Brooks. Now, it's funny, they laughed. After that, I went right into Juicy, and it was just cool. But hearing him say it too, it's like, you know what, now I want to change it up. Like, it's probably better to not even mention, color, race, locks. And yeah, it's entertaining and I'm being funny and there may even be some truth to it. But I think for us to all go forward and to not even let it be an issue is to not make it an issue. So I'm glad you showed me that. I'm glad for Country. He seems to be evolved. He's just a human being and he likes music. I'm a human being. I like music. And he gave you a tip. Like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
But at the same time, you could see what was also in his head, that racial PTSD, because on stage, like you said, he didn't just move, just do the song. He pointed out, yeah, you didn't think you're going to see a guy that looks like me sing a song like this, which there may have been that one person or two people in the bar that went, right. Well, ain't that something? But you know what? It's St. Petersburg, Florida. 99% of the people in there are like, all right, another person that can barely sing up there singing.
Right, yeah. So I think, what it is he's acknowledging some of the things that maybe I've seen that we've shared, being reminded that you're black. I'm reminded I'm black every day. I try to get into that later, but
so maybe if you look in the mirror.
But I think it's there are things I've seen that maybe he's seen too. Like you get.
I'm sure.
Grabs a person. I'm not gonna touch you. Like here's a funny story. So it's 2:30 in the morning, and I'm gonna go get some food at the 24-hour spot, and so I go and it's red light and the car pulls up and they pull next to me and she takes off. So I go in, she turns left, I go left, she turns right, I go right, and she goes into the spot where I'm going, and I park there. And, she gets out, and I get out. Then she walks, she turns, what do you want from me? I was like, snacks, what?
You were following some woman on accident and she thought you were following her on purpose?
No, man. No, listen, I need you guys to look up Dion Cole. That's a stand-up skit. I just wanted to tell you, see how funny it was, but it's really funny. Dion Cole.
Hey,
but I had you. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a story you did. It's really funny. But no, I think that's we all have our fears or prejudices, and I think it is time for all of us to just kind of let go of it. So I'll do a better job of just not mentioning color.
All right, and so I learned a couple of things last night as well at Park and Rec that I want to share with you before we get into some of the news of the day as well. Well, first, Nikki says, let me ask you something, Chris. Nikki asks or says, I should put a tip jar out. I bet a lot of people would tip you. So how do you handle the tip? Oh, you have your case open?
I leave my guitar case open.
Okay.
And what I do is I take out a $5 bill or a 10, kiss it for good luck, put it on the ground, and then at some point I'm like, thank you. And, the first person who gives me a tip, I don't really mention it until the first person gives me a tip. And then I thank them. I make, hey, that person's cool. If anyone else wants to be cool, there you go. The tips are going to go put my kids through private school, which is the truth. And I feel like if people see it, it's like it's from something different. Like, they want to help. So, yeah, that's how I do it. And I figure the bigger the case, the more you can make. So, and then sometimes
I have a big guitar case.
Give a huge guitar case, bro. It'll work.
My wife, Lauren's like, hey, you're really missing out on an opportunity here to put out tip jars at some of these things. Yeah, and you know why I don't? You know why? 100% I'm positive. Ego.
Yeah, you don't want to seem like XYZ.
Yeah, and I'm confident that's what it is. I even somebody goes to tip me, I'm like, man, you don't need to tip me. I get paid. What the hell? I'm a vendor now. I'm not $150,000 a year morning show host at a radio station. I am busting my ass. I'm a hustler now, and every dollar helps.
But here's something about that you and we share in that. I have CDs that I don't even sell at my shows, and I know that there's more money I can make, and blah blah blah. And it's a little different, you and I, why you're doing it. I understand you. I understand you just, sometimes you get trapped in the thinking of what someone else might think, and you don't want them to think this way. I tell you, man, people are going to think however they're going to think, and it is not your business to know what they're thinking. I say this to you. You have a wife, you got these little pups.
That's right.
Every little bit counts. And if someone is willing, if they feel like, hey, I want to show you appreciation through a tip, dude, don't take away someone else's blessing. They're giving you a blessing. So who are you to take away someone's blessing? You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's
okay, but just try to, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
It is.
Ego gets in the way of things, man. Remember, we can either be a slave to our ego, or we can be a servant to our soul.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Blessings.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
And truth be told, the fact that you mentioned that country gave you a tip, and you mentioned it was the only person that gave you a tip, and did the tip feel good?
It did.
Therefore, why are you stopping from things that feel good?
Okay, well, let me take it back. It does not feel 100% good, and it's slowly feeling better. There's another guy that comes out there, Bryce, well-dressed guy, great singer. Matter of fact, he's he's in his late 30s or in his 40s, but will still get voice lessons. He loves to sing. That's so awesome. He'll come out there and he'll hit some, like the darkness,
Darkness! No. Oh, sorry.
Not that darkness. I believe in a thing called love. You know the song I'm talking about? And but anyway, so he will tip me. But it's weird because I guess what it is, I also, when I'm doing these things, I make a connection with people. So in a weird way, I'm making relationships with people. So when you come up and then you hand me a $10 bill, or like, you tip me $20 before, just because I played some songs for him, I'm like, no, man, it's almost like in my head, like, we're friends now, but we're not.
Right. But you are. But again, man, it's just, a lot of times when we can get in and we can reason ourselves in and out of anything. And so I just say to you, like, just look at it. Don't try not to put something as bad, a negative stipulation on money. I used to do that.
I'm getting better, Chris. I'm getting better.
Yeah, and everything's just a progress. It's just a process, and it's a marathon. It's not a race.
Thanks
but I think
to you.
It's probably a good time to try to sing something. But go ahead. But thank you.
All right. Thanks to you, Chords, and my wife Lauren. Yeah. Because I do have some weird negative stigma. I don't know if it's weird because I'm not the only person.
No, I had it too. That's why I'm saying I empathize. I did as well. Like, listen, I'm an artist, so I would always be like, hey, like, I'm like, the guy who was in here yesterday. What's his name? Zach. Our guest yesterday.
Yesterday was Ryan.
Ryan. Sorry, Ryan. No offense. Ryan. No offense.
Zach was last week.
Okay. But Ryan, it was the same thing. He's like, people would basically stream his movie and he would be losing money out of it, and it's like, hey, that's stealing, and I'm like, hey, but at the end of the day, man, like, if your intention is to make good music or movies for the people, it's not about that money. Like, you're not doing it for them. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing it because I get joy out of doing it. I do it because I get joy out of see people liking it. And so I understand at some moment I was like, I'll lowball myself or whatever, but now I'm understanding, like, I have children.
I'm getting there
and
slowly.
They changed everything. Like, I'm like, what? Like, I need every single dollar I can because, dude, I've broken my foot. I've got a surgery. I've had broken my nose. That stuff's coming, man. It's coming around the corner. So I have to do whatever I can to prepare and protect my kids. And I think that's your job too as a husband. And you got to be whatever you can to protect your family.
That's part of what has helped me get better about embracing capitalism and whatever the system that we live in is going. Don't think about me and how I feel about it, but I'm a married man now. I've got a family I got to take care of.
Yes, exactly.
So Deidre says you should definitely put out a tip jar. You're providing entertainment, memories, experiences. You're getting paid for doing your job, not the intangibles. Hashtag mic drop.
And you know why she's my best friend. She's hilarious.
All right, you said you're feeling a song.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so after the song, when we come back, so I'm gonna go use the facilities while you're playing a song. How about that?
Like it.
When we come back, there's 2 books that are sitting here in front of us. We're making an assumption that our business partner Chords put them here, but this book is compliments of Kevin Harrington and Daniel Priestley, Key Person of Influence, the 5-step method to become one of the most highly valued and highly paid people in your industry. So, Chris, you play a song, and when we come back, I've got some news, some stories to hit today, and we'll open up a random page. We'll open up to a random page and see what there is to learn from whatever is sitting in front of us today. Here you go. Whoops. There you go. Let's see here. Let's do that.
This is a love song, man. Just bring some love into the world. The song's called Chasing Love, y'all. Which we all do, right? Oh, man. Do you remember holding hands in the park and kissing me in the dark, chasing love. Oh, now I remember the way you looked at me, making me believe I'm in love. Oh, now I hope this thing won't fall apart, 'cause that would break my heart. All these chances we take, chasing love, chasing love. With all the others, I never felt at home. I always felt so alone, till I found you, my one and only. You found me, made me, and you saved me. Maybe I'm crazy for chasing love. Oh, now I hope this thing won't fall apart, 'cause that would break my heart. All these chances we take, chasing love, chasing love. We're chasing love, we're chasing love, we're chasing love. There is one thing that you'll never know, how I love you so. I'm so glad you're with me. Chasing love, chasing love, chasing love. We're chasing love, all my loving, all for you. It's true. Oh, 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 no, no, no. Oh, oh. Chasing love with you. Thank you very much. It's going to put my kids in private school. Thank you so much. That song, you guys can hit that song if you like it. You guys can hear it on iTunes. It's called Chasing Love. The album was called Just Live. My first like solo CD when the Chris McCarty Band was no more. So yeah, Chasing Love. Thank you. And now it's my turn to chase the bathroom.
All right, you go do that. Then when you come back, we'll crack open this book that's in front of us and randomly see what's that you pulling off your ice pack.
Yeah, man.
How's your knee feeling today?
Numb.
All right. Welcome. We'll hit a couple of things. All right. First of all, thank you so much for the likes and shares. The likes and the shares, we really appreciate that. All the interaction as the Wake.Show continues to grow. Like Roseanne, all Americans are just one bad tweet away from being fired. So this isn't about, we've had 2 days of talking about how we feel about that particular tweet and about Roseanne Barr and the left versus the right and the Hollywoods versus conservatives and stuff like that. But this is an article that makes a great point. That we're all, this is the era that we're living in, that we all have to be careful about what we're tweeting out, what we're doing on our social media. How many of you are working for somebody? Are you working for a company? And does that company have a policy where they get the rights to have access to your Facebook page? I know most companies are doing that these days. Or I don't know if it's most. A lot are doing them these days. Hey, Kurt, how you doing? Sarah, hello. I'll pass that along to Chris when he comes back. But if you use Twitter, you are to a public figure, and one egregious tweet could blow up your life. On Tuesday, ABC canceled the wildly successful reboot of Roseanne after Roseanne Barr wrote a racist tweet about Valerie Jarrett, a former advisor in Barack Obama's White House. Barr apologized, but the damage was done. Several members of her cast and ABC executive denounced her. The cancellation of Barr's show came just some 11 hours after she sent the original tweet. That was pretty quick. That would seem quick anyway. It would seem quick, except that she has a history. So I have a feeling that Roseanne Barr, probably had some clauses in her contract, and they already had some things going like, all right, if she goes down this path, if she does this, she does that, well, she's out. So the swiftness of ABC's response is a testament to diversity in the C-suite and the speed of which news travels on social media, says Aram Sinreich, professor of communications at the American University of Washington, D.C. It helped that there's an African-American woman calling the shots. It also reflects that in the Trump age, the news cycle has accelerated so quickly that there's a vanishingly small window for commercial entities. By the way, I've heard this quite a bit over the past couple of days, that the woman that's in whatever she is, she runs ABC or this particular division of ABC is African American, so it probably sped this up. I don't know. I think we're jumping to conclusions in that, because that same person or those same moments could also last longer, because that person doesn't want it to be perceived to be, biased or knee jerk to something that's personal, blah 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 blah. So I don't know if that's a fair assessment. We everybody who's made that statement, including this professor here, which will I'm sure disagree with me, that he's above this kind of stuff. It also it helps there's an African American woman calling the shots. I don't know. I could see that also going both ways. I think we're making an assumption there. But anyway. That wasn't her first racist tweet, so why now? The political climate is putting all employers on high alert when it comes to the words and behavior of their employees. This professor goes on to say, we're understood to be private citizens, but when someone is the public face of a public corporation, So anyway, and the guy goes on, because I don't want to rehash that story itself. It's just about what we are putting on our social media and the people that we work for, the companies that we work for, having access to that kind of stuff and having a profound effect. Chris, have you had anything on social media come back and bite you in the ass yet? You threw something out there and it either landed wrong and you ended up pulling it down. But the ones that the ones that in that category for me were usually late night tweets. Back a few years ago, and I'd.
Oh, that's not true. I did have something. There was it didn't really come back to me, but I found myself being like, I need to get off this. What happened was there was a boy from the University of Florida who I shouldn't have said that.
You can stop.
Well, he wasn't allowed.
I wish I had a dump button like we did in radio.
I'm just kidding. Look, this is what it is. So this guy, he was going to play football, but they medically did not clear him to play because he had this thing. If he got hit, he could be paralyzed, right? Okay. And he sent out a tweet that was like, basically so much for nothing. I wish I'd gone somewhere else. Like things, and it was like, and I responded like, dude, you got education for free, and these people are trying to make sure that you can walk, and you're dumping on them about that. And I remember saying like, wow, another aspect could be, hey, thank you for giving me the ability to potentially walk down the aisle with my daughter. And and so then this, and I spelled aisle incorrectly, right? And so
that's
someone else.
That's why you regretted
the tweet. Because so someone jumped on me and said he corrected my spelling, and then I like kind of popped off on him, but it was funny because like it turned out to be someone who was a fan of mine back in like 2005. And I was like, oh my goodness! But it was cool because I'm quick at someone's gonna and we kind of went back and forth, but then. I did the checkmate thing, and then that's what I found. He's like, yeah, I got your CD, and you signed it. And I was like, oh, my God. So I was like, I'm never doing that again. That's the one time. But outside of that, like, I don't post things, and I've not gone and done anything since then. I'm like, Oh, man. What was yours? Let's get off of me.
There's a few tweets and Facebook posts that I have deleted over the years, and it's been years, but back when I was really angry and drinking a lot of liquor, I would all of a sudden go on some rant in the middle of the night, and the next day I'd look down at my Facebook page and just get this nauseous feeling like what the hell's wrong with me, and delete the thing. But of course it's already out there in the universe.
Yes, but you know what, I think for everybody out there, I find this very interesting, and I'm really doing my best to get out of this. More times than not, I run into people who really they're looking for reasons to be offended, and it's like if you go through your day, you can find hundreds of things to be offended by. Like whether someone wore something, they tweeted something, they said something, and it's like, ooh, it's to have an open mind to think, you know what? I never thought of that perspective. I didn't consider that. Like, it allows you to be more. And if you walk around with, I'm not trying to be offended by anything. Like, you got one life, guys, and the day you'll never be as young as you are today. You're never going to get this day back. Does it really feel good to be offended? Like, doesn't feel good? So
yeah, it does.
You know,
it actually does. It releases certain chemicals in the brain, and that's why we allow that moment to happen.
I disagree. I say momentarily, but in the long run, we're talking about like short term versus long term. You know, like eating that donut short term could feel good, but in the long term, it's not going to make. It's going to increase that insecurity. So I say, like at that moment, again, I've been there, and where I'm, been offended, like, what are you looking at me this way, whatever, and I feel like it's like holding on to this thing, and I just can't hold on to it anymore. And I just find I've just been so happy. Been through divorce, been through, death of family, been through all kinds of stuff, and, my old band and that whole thing. And, you just get so, you think about it and you hold on to the stuff. That's why I was doing the forgiveness letters. And now I just look at it like, you know what, man, like I could be offended all day long. I just choose to not do it anymore. And I've just been happier.
Good.
So, there you
Chris, listen, there's two kinds of being offended. And one of them is you don't have a choice. You choose to be offended. That is utter bullshit. If your sensibilities are pinged, you're offended, and there's nothing you can do about it in that moment. Now, after a couple moments, you can breathe that down and but in that moment, you're offended for whatever reason. Now, there's the intellectual of being offended, meaning, this just happened. That just, I think this is a moment that I probably should be offended. I'm offended, everybody. So, but for the most part, that first one, if you're offended, you're offended.
Hey, Chris, I say this to you, man. That is putting yourself in victim mode. You're acting like I have no choice. That's not true. What you just said.
Telling you, you have no choice in that moment. You are going to react the way you're going to react. And I keep hearing this over and over. Everybody has a choice to react the way that we don't have a choice to react. We react the way we react.
Okay, I know you just said that, and let me finish what I was going to say. I allowed you to speak. Please allow me to finish and retort. What I'm saying to you is, with enough training, with enough breathing, with enough exercises, with enough putting yourself in a position to fight the outside world that's going to come in, you can put yourself at a better footing to have least a situation that can offend you. I am saying that I too was offended when I kept hearing the N-word and people saying this and blah, 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 but I've gotten to a place in my life where I'm just not, and I'm choosing not to hold on to it. So now these same things are happening, and I, through my evolution, I am not as offended. So I'm telling you, as a person who walked into that, who was that, there are ways to stave that off. So I disagree with your statement.
All right. We will agree to disagree on this one.
Okay.
All right. Carson, by the way, we'll pick up this book here in a second. Fish, years ago, unexpectedly filled in on the bone when you had been drinking earlier. It was pretty epic. Good thing it wasn't Twitter, though. Lots of great rants. I believe what he's referencing is the night that the verdict came down for Trayvon Martin. Or the day that they came down, I was at a gig at Derby Lane Poker Room, and so they go, "Hey man, this just came down. You're right around the corner. Can you head over to the radio station and go on the air?" I was like, "Sure, no problem." I'd been drinking, and so when I got in the air that night, I just lost my mind, because to me, where I was, this was BS. This was racism. This was unjust. It was. I was angry. And to have the people on the phone try to explain to me otherwise was just, it was, all you were doing was proving to me that you were a racist. And I just got angrier and angrier and angrier that night on the air.
Okay. So do you think alcohol had something to do with that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alcohol definitely is the fuel on that fire. But there's also, going back to that time, there was also something building in me, so that then the alcohol makes it easier to come out and
I'm not denying that. I would love to read, because I think that this is a good segue into, when we were talking about me. What I wanted to do, everyone, is I wanted to take a moment to say something positive and just kind of speak towards the end of the show, but it really is in alignment with what you were just saying about, like, we have a choice and things can make you mad, and you have no choice but to be mad, and I say I disagree. Can I read this now? Is that cool?
Well, it's up to you. We were getting ready to wrap up the show here, so perfect. If you want, well, all right, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, because this was planned for the end of the show. We just really have one more thing to hit, and that is the opening that book randomly and reading something. But we don't have to. That was something that we decided on.
I think it's still kind of fresh with what you were saying.
Let's do it.
I kind of want to jump into it. So this is what I'm going into. There's no justified resentments. So no matter what anyone says to you or us, no matter what the hate that shows up in our direction towards us, there's no justified resentments.
There's no justified. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm gonna.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right.
So I'm giving different examples so I can try to draw everyone in. So maybe you can feel this. The person that pushed you out of the cool kid group, the person that plotted against us to mess up your band, the person that owes you money, the person that cheated on you and left you for the kids and left you with the kids with another lover, the person that may have emptied your mutual bank accounts. There's no justified resentments. The person that may have been abusive, like all the things that you have a right to resent. I just suggest that those resentments end up harming you.
I think I see where you're coming from. What you're saying is, yes, so there's a lot of things that can happen to us that you tell the story to somebody else, they can easily understand why you're filled with resentment in that moment. But what you're saying is, let's not use those moments to justify that anger, just to keep going back there to justify this feeling of resentment.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, and let me just finish. We can.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I apologize.
I'm not offended at all. And I was saying, yeah, I know it sucks. Like, there's a thing like there's fault versus responsibility. I was listening to Will Smith talk about this. It's like, you could say it's someone's fault that they did this thing. But again, that puts you in victim mode, and there's no growth in victim mode. But it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to heal your heart. It's your heart. It's your life. So I know it sucks, man, no matter what happens in your life, and someone may do something, but it's your responsibility to heal yourself. Like, Chris has anxiety issues and he's trying to find a way. It's his responsibility in his life to fix it. So I say to you, and I heard this once, that no one dies from a snake bite. You cannot be unbitten once you're bitten by a snake. It's the venom that courses through you that eventually kills you. And so I say that this resentment, I had an issue for 9 years, 9 long years about the Chris McCarty band, the way it went down, the way it broke up. 9 years. For 9 years, they were up in my head, paying free rent and disrupting my happiness and my joy because I was blaming and being the victim because I know how it went down. But at the end, after the 9 years, I was like, you know what? It's my fault. This is my life. What are the things that I didn't do? I know what they didn't, but it was my responsibility to heal myself and get me back on track. And so again, that was a time that kind of aged me. Like, I understand my relationship with my divorce. That's a tough situation. I am no longer going to be able to see my children every single day. And I believe that I was created. I'm getting emotional. I believe I was created to.
It's all right. It's all right.
To be their dad.
Do you want to grab your guitar or anything like that and like pick while you're, or just kind of sit in the moment?
I'm just
sit in the moment.
No, it's so. I love my kids. Everyone knows that. But it's my responsibility to be okay, because if I'm okay and I can find the happiness, they'll be happy. So I took responsibility of their lives to make sure that at least at some part of their life, they wouldn't be able to see the conflict. So half of their life, at least, they could be filled with the joy that I give them, and I give them all of me. And I felt like it was my responsibility to find my happiness. So when a car drives by and they cut me off, I'm choosing to not look in the car because it's just going to be a negative interaction, or I'm choosing to say, I'm sorry, my bad. And that's a choice that I've come to, and I feel like the more you do something, the more it becomes. As you think, so far will your life be. And so now I'm just thinking really positive things, and I don't want any harm on anyone. And I'm noticing the relationship with my ex-wife, it's shifting because she can still come at this. And I realized just from that, like, she's playing victim, like, I did something to you, I didn't do anything to you, this is your life, this is my life. And just that alone makes me see myself and be like, you know what, I'm gonna choose to not do that. And so now I don't speak, I don't respond with negativity, and it's working. And I'm like, hey, listen, man, these are God's kids. Just like our children, we have 2 kids, right? So if one kid's not doing what they're supposed to do, one kid's doing what they're supposed to do, who do you think is going to get the reward? Well, couldn't it be the same thing if there was another spot and we are God's kids and he's looking at us like, okay, well, what are you doing with the kids? What are you doing with the kids? Are you looking out for them? Are you looking out for you? Well, what do you think the rewards are going to be? And like, do you guys see what's happening? Just the rewards. We're on this show. I get to see him every day. I'm opening up for Chase Rice. I'm writing a song for Chase Rice. I mean, we just got an email about me potentially being in a documentary over in England for the Beatles. These are the rewards. And I'm saying to you, I'm just offering. It's not to say I'm so cool. It's not about that. I want everyone to take what's yours. We all have music inside of us. We all have a reason to be. We all dance to our own beat. And I am just urging you in the short time that we have, it's so short, I'm just giving you a suggestion. Maybe we should stop looking to be offended, and you'll see it more and more. And then with the positiveness, then the dreams you want will come true.
All right. Speaking of being offended, Chris and I actually had something else completely planned for today's show.
Yeah.
It never even got to it, and that was a conversation that began before the show today. About a thread on Facebook on Cord's, one of Cord's friends he used to play football with. And once the thread found out that this one guy who is black is a Trump supporter, that the tone of the
he wasn't a Trump supporter. He even said he wasn't. It wasn't about Trump. But go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
no, that was thrown in the narrative, and it was like, dude, he's not even talking about Trump. He's talking about something else. But go ahead.
But and so then everything changed. Well, what I took from I don't know. Maybe I took something wrong from the conversation. Then
no, you took the right thing from it. What it was is this, all of a sudden, this man was talking about this Kim Kardashian who went to see Donald Trump. Talk about a reform, right? And he's trying to explain the reform. And someone goes, so wait, are you a Trump supporter? He was like, dude, I'm not even talking about Trump. Talk about the reform. And that was the issue we had. It's like, wait, it's like.
But then it turned from there, it spiraled, and everybody started attacking this guy as if he were a Trump supporter, and he was just trying to give one
he was just trying to get people to calm down and stop judging and being so offended. He was just like, hey, let's not. And it's funny how people, again, they want to be offended, and it turned into, you're a Trump supporter. And it's so wild because I know that there are people who were mad that when Obama was in office, they were like, oh, you're an Obama supporter. And they're like, oh, that's so wrong. You just don't like Obama because he's black. I've heard that. But now here you are on one side being like, you don't like Trump? Wrong. It's the same. You're doing the same thing that you were complaining about before. You're being a hypocrite. Right? And that's where we were getting off. Like, dude, like, come on. Like, again, diversity of thought. What is so wrong with what the problem is we can't even have a conversation, a civilized conversation about differences. And some people just they just want to fight. They just want to argue. They just want to complain. Just stay away from those people. That's what I do.
All right. Let's see here. Before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, there was a book that was sitting on our desks when we got in today. We're making the assumption that Cords Owen, the owner of Bake More Pies, is the one who dropped it here. Chris, would you like to? All right, whatever you just opened it up to. Whatever you just opened it up to.
You are already standing on a mountain of value. Your story is valuable. Your experience is unique, and you are highly valuable just as you are. Was I not saying something about letting your dreams peace and? Go ahead, man.
No, I love it. I love it right there, because this is one of the things that I have to get over moving forward as an entrepreneur now and a businessman, realizing that I am no businessman.
I got to keep going.
All right, go ahead.
You do not need to learn new skills. You are ready to create value now. You are no longer on this planet to be a consumer. You are here to be a producer. You are ready to establish yourself as a key person of influence through creative output, not through further consumption. All of your future learning will come from the process of producing value, not through pursuing other people's stories or distant trends. This may rattle you a little bit. Surely, if you were valuable already, you would already be earning the serious money. if you were value, you would know the reason you don't have the money yet is that you have not established yourself as a KPI. I guess there's probably another key person of influence.
You remember where that comes from? KPI?
Key person of influence? No.
That isn't that the name of the Toffer Morrison's company?
Whoa, beautiful. And you haven't crystallized your value into products in the okay, you are ready. Let's take a look
or
at
something like
look
that.
at that. Look at that.
So anyway, this is a gift from him, says Cords. This so Toffer Morrison. Yeah, Toffer Morrison.
Vote for Toffer Morrison all day. I am. I am.
And what it is that he dropped off a key person of influence. Forward. So this is his book. Okay, the forward is by him,
hey.
Or at least this is his book he's associated with anyway. All right, whatever.
Look at that.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, and also single source insurance. That's my new people. I got off Geico. I'm hanging out here, so at least you know that we're legit. We're not just saying it to get money. No, we're part of it. That's why we're with them.
Thank you so much, single source insurance.
Wait, give me 5, guy. What? Oh, that way. My God. We're so lame. Oh, song time.
Song time. All right, let's end with a song, and then we'll tell you. What, you gigging tonight?
No, I am off till Sunday, man.
Good for you.
Oh, it's so great. It's really great. Hang on.
You guys in the mood for trivia tonight? I'll be at Masteries, St. Pete Beach. Masteries on Blind Pass from starting at 7 o'clock. Trivia starting at 7 o'clock. We'll give away some free beers throughout the night and first, second, and third place gift cards for $20, $15, and $10. We have somebody from Showtime. What do we have coming in tomorrow?
Oh, he's not coming tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, we got an open slot then. We'll see.
It might just be me and you again. Or maybe Matt wants to come in.
All right, we'll see.
All right, this is the song that I wrote with Chase. It's called Telephone. I don't think I've played it yet. It doesn't matter. Used to walk on this road alone. I'm so used to being lonely. Where I rest my head is home. I ain't never met no one like me. Tonight in Tennessee, one drink turned to two, led to me getting lost in your baby blues. I'm living that runway life under them lights, up all night, every night. Though I wish I had my eyes on you. Be home and I'll be on the road. We'll be talking on the telephone. Hear it in your voice when you start to cry. Hold my breath when you say goodbye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye bye bye, ooh. Bye bye bye, bye bye bye, bye bye bye, ooh. It's 2 a.m. and you look good, but what's a picture on a cracked screen? God, I hold you if I could. You made me wanna tell you bad things that make you blush red. Heart skipping beats stay in my head with the secrets under the sheets. Just one more night, just one more flight, losing my mind till I get my hands on you. Be home and I'll be on the road. We'll be talking on the telephone. Hear it in your voice when you start to cry. Hold my breath when you say goodbye. Bye bye bye, bye bye bye, bye bye bye, ooh. Bye bye bye, bye bye bye, bye bye bye, ooh. There's no way we could have written this song if we were all negative and thinking of bad stuff, you know? It's part of it, man. Yeah. The hello goodbyes, and I dry your eyes, and I realize there'll never be no one like you. You. Never be no one like you. You. Never be no one like you. Be home and I'll be on the road. We'll be talking on the telephone. Hear it in your voice when you start to cry. Hold my breath when you say goodbye. You'll be home and I'll be on the road. We'll be talking on the telephone. Hear it in your voice when you start to cry. Hold my breath when you say goodbye. Bye bye bye, bye bye bye, bye bye bye, you. Bye bye bye, bye bye bye, bye bye bye, ooh. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of the Wake.Show today. The likes and shares are much appreciated.
Like and share.
See you guys tonight at Mastery's. Chris is off for a couple of days.
I'll be at Mastery's tonight hanging with my dude.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you once again to Topher Morrison for dropping off that book. And he is running for mayor of Tampa if you'd like to look up more on him. Chris is already in. If he was living in Tampa, he'd be voting for the guy. It was a great guest. I was on last week if you'd like to go back and check out that show as well. All right. Have a great day. Be safe. Be kind to yourself. Be good to your fellow man. And be the change you want to see in the world.